Hey guys! Okay, so this training is going to be about 6 minutes long and it is going to include 3 parts and they are all to do with pricing nail art. So we're going to have to dive straight into it, but I hope you're coming into this training understanding the importance already of why you need to charge for it. If not, we'll cover that maybe in another training. Okay, so part 1 of pricing properly for your nail art is deciding on your price. So one of the ways that you can do this is through working out how much you want to be earning in total in your business each month. So say, for example, you're a tech who wants to earn £1,000 a week and you currently have, let's go with an easy round figure of 20 hours a week that you're wanting to work. That means that for every hour that you're in appointments, you need to be bringing in £50. So if we divide that between 4, so that we have, because there's 4 quarters of an hour in an hour, that means we need to be charging £12.50 per 15 minutes of work that we do. So we can break down our nail art into 15-minute sections because that makes sense, right? So for example, you could do very basic nail art, things like glitter, foils, I don't know, the odd dot here or there, and you could charge, and that could be like your tier 1 of your nail art, and that could be your standard nail art that you do. Maybe you can do stamping in that time. We used to do that, and you're like, right, well, you get 15 minutes of nail art and that's £12.50, or that's our basic level of nail art and that's £12.50. And if it doesn't take you 15 minutes, still charge it. Okay, you're blocking out your time for them so they can have up to 15 minutes. It might not take you 15 minutes. That's where the greatness comes of your experience, and doing lots of it means that you're going to get quicker and quicker, and sometimes you might even get it within the hour, but you still charge for it. Okay, so that's part 1. Part 2, let's talk about costs and labour pricing strategy. So what a lot of people do, and you get examples of this, might be mechanics, is that to price something, they're like, well, how much does it cost me? So what are the materials? So for example, for you, it might be the glitter that you need to purchase or the nail art brush that you need, but that gets spread over such a long period of time, you probably don't include it in things, plus your time spent. And so we come up with this thing of like, oh, well, you know, and I see a lot of people doing this, I'll just charge £5. I'll just charge £5 and that's where we're going to sit out with it. Excuse the black under my eye, by the way. I haven't got black eye, it's makeup, and I literally was just like, right, I'm just jumping on really quick before I go to get my eyebrows done. Hence me not having any makeup on either. But I really wanted to get this done. So I'm wasting time here. Right, okay, so we don't want to be thinking about that. I just want to stress this. It takes a lot of skill for you to go and learn this nail art. It isn't only the 15 minutes that it takes for you to now do that nail art. It was actually all the hours, and I know you were going to tell me it was hours and hours of practice that you did to get that good at nail art. So if you are someone who is particularly good at nail art, you spent a lot of time practicing, a lot of time building up your skill, you actually could be charging and should be charging more than it is for the basic. So if you're normally charging £50 an hour for whatever it is that you're doing, maybe you want to be at £100 an hour. Like, okay, so that's that. Then we move on to part 3, which is where you all go and you all say, but I can't charge that. No one's going to want to have it if I want to have that done, and having to stay strong with our price. So this is how we used to do it. I run a business, right? Like I have to make money, and I had a minimum that I wanted to make each week. So if I was like, someone sent me a picture of some really, and I'll give you an example of this. Someone sent me a picture of some really nice, like superhero type nails that they wanted for some party they were going to or something they were doing. And they sent that to me, and I looked at it and I was like, I know roughly there is no way I'm getting that done in 15 minutes. I was like, to be honest, the thing that she sent me, I was like, it's probably going to take me about an hour and a half on top of the appointment. So I was just really honest with her. I went back to her on the message and I was like, they look amazing. I love them. They're going to take me about an hour and a half. So that means, and at the time, that means it's going to be an extra £60 on top of the £40 for your gel polish. Do you want to go ahead with that, or do you want me to find like a like an alternative if you've got a bit more of a budget on that. And she comes back and she's like, oh yeah, I didn't realise it was going to take that long. They don't realise, okay, the clients don't know. Then what we did was work out, well, how much do you want to spend on these? And she's like, comes back, she's like, oh, well, I'm probably willing to spend like an extra £20 on having them done because it's like a special event. Okay, amazing. So that gives us half an hour to do nail art with. This is what I can do for you within that time. And then we did like some which just had nothing on them, a couple which had more simple nail art, and then like 2 fingers which had more nail art on them. And that's how you do it. And it's about you being honest with your clients. I think the problems that we have is when we're not honest. The problems we have is when we don't plan. The client sits down in front of us and they're like, I want this, and we go all into a fluster and we're like, oh, okay, and then we're sitting there worrying about how we're going to do it, and then we don't even charge for it at the end anyway. Also, the last thing I want to add around this, you can say no. You do not have to do nail art. Do not feel like you have to do nail art. And if someone shows you something that you can't do, either spend the time if you want to and you love it, going and learning to do it. But if you don't, just say no, because you're in business here and you are allowed to do what it is that you want, and you don't have to offer everything. Okay, I hope that was helpful. If this was, please click subscribe. Also, please come and follow us over on Instagram at the Nail Tech Tribe. I will see you over there. Have an amazing day. High five and goodbye.